All right, in this video we're going to be working with a Rosemount Emerson Trex communicator over here, and a Rosemount 3051 pressure transmitter. We're going to be adding the pressure transmitter to AMS on our computer here, and then we're going to demonstrate how the Trex communicator can be used to calibrate the device when it's offline from the AMS database. The communicator can be used to talk to it, configure it, and then when we plug the communicator back into the AMS, the main computer for the AMS, we can upload all the changes and stuff that we've done. So what we've done here, we've got it wired up, normal configuration. We've got 24 volts here coming out, 250 ohm resistor in series, and then on the back side we've got our HART modem, Viator modem connected to the laptop, because the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding this device to our AMS database over here. So that's why we have the HART communicator connected. So I've already gone ahead and set up the network configuration here for a HART modem, so that needs to be done. I do that in a previous video with the HART modem, so you have to look back on one of those videos to configure that. I'm going to go ahead and open up AMS device manager here, and we're going to add the device once this loads. All right, so over here under physical networks, if we drill down our I want to click on this computer here, the AMS workstation. We want to click on that, and that is the computer that we're working on. That's where the HART modem is connected to, you can see. So if we double click on that, we should see our device appear here. And the first thing we need to do here for this to work properly with our Trex communicator is we need to make sure that we add this device to our AMS database. And to do that, we need to drill down under plant locations till we get to control module. We drag this here over to the control module and drop it. Now when we click on the control module folder, it appears right here. So that needs to be done. If that's not done, the device won't be added to the AMS database, and it won't track changes or history or anything like that on the device. So now that we've added it, what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to rename this device. We're just going to call it IET235. Alright, so now that we have the device added, we should be able to right click again on the device and go to audit trail. And this is what we're wanting to see. This audit trail is going to show us the history on the device here, so we can track changes. If we replace the device, if we calibrate the device, if any maintenance been done on the device now, we can track it under audit trail here. So you can see that the AMS tag assignment is the first item, and that was us dragging it over to the folder. And then here it was renamed, and that was when we renamed it to IET235. So that's the first step of the process here. The next thing we need to do now is we need to pair our Trex communicator with our AMS database over here. Once they are paired, the two devices are paired, we can now use this device when our transmitter is offline over here, offline from the AMS database. We can use this device now here to configure and make changes and do calibrations to our transmitter. All right, so now we're going to connect our Trex communicator to the AMS database here. So what I've done is I've connected a USB cable here, you can see, to the top of the Trex communicator, and it's powered on. And then the other end of the USB cable plugs into our laptop over here. Since we're working with a virtual machine, we need to make sure that we add the device here. So you can see we have our HART modem for the initial connection to the transmitter, and then that's the Mac Tech USB HART interface here. And then now I've also added our Emerson Process Management, the Trex communicator. So it's now added to the virtual machine. With that, we should be able to drill down into the AMS Trex units menu here, and we should be able to see our device. There, you can see there's our device. It's unpaired, meaning that it hasn't been paired with the database yet. So that means the device here, it needs to be paired with the AMS database if we're going to use it to calibrate and set up the device that we set up here in our control module, the IET 235 device. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and go pair Trex, and then it's going to go through and pair our Trex communicator to this AMS database over here. So right now you can see on our Trex communicator right now, it's connecting to AMS and being paired. If we look over here now, the icon has changed, and there's a little green check mark on it indicating that it's been paired with our AMS database. All right, so now we've removed the AMS database from our transmitter here. You can see that it's kind of off on its own. It's disconnected. The HART modem has been removed. So we can now kind of pretend like this is the device here is now offline here, and we're doing some work on it remotely, and we're using our Trex communicator here to do that. So I've got the Trex communicator, the hook lead cable here connected to the back of the transmitter here, and I'm about to communicate with it. I'll just click on field communicator here. Transmitter is still powered on, and you can see it's searching for the device here. Looks like it's gonna find it, and then what we'll do is we're going to do a quick 0 on the device, and we're going to show how that 0 then that 0 change gets updated in the audit trail of our database over here when we go and reconnect and sync our Trex communicator to it. All right, so this is the first time that the AMS Trex device is actually connected to the transmitter. So we're getting this message saying that the device is not known to the AMS device manager and asking us if we would like to do a full scan. So we'll click OK to that. It's going to scan the device and pull some information out of it. So then when we go to upload our changes that we've made to the device to our our AMS device database over there, it will put the information with the right tag. So now that we're connected, we can go to Service Tools, Maintenance, and we're going to do pressure calibration, and we just want to do a 0. It's going to give us a warning that the device shouldn't be used for control right now, so we'll click OK. It is not. Click OK. Apply output 0 output to sensor. You can see here we don't have any pressure connected, so it's 0 to atmosphere. Click OK. We return to normal. And there, now we're done. So we can exit back out to our main overview screen. And yes, we want to disconnect from the device, so we click OK. And there, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our Trex, our AMS Trex device over, connect it to the database, and we're going to see the 0 show up in our audit trail now. All right, so I've connected the USB cable back up to our computer over here with the AMS database on it. And what we're going to do here, first thing we want to check to see is if we go into settings here, and then down to the AMS device manager sync. And this right here, it tells us that the device was last synced or uploaded its information to the database over here at 9:53 a.m. and it was about 2 minutes ago when I first plugged it in. We're at 9:55, so we'll click OK to that. And now I'm going to go over here to the device, make sure that we're selecting the one in control module here, right click on it and go to audit trail. And yes, right at the top here you can see 0 is ran by mobile device, event synchronization time. So that time there corresponds to the time that we had over on our Trex unit, and you can see that 0 is ran. So the device here, the database here was not connected to the device. We used our Trex unit here to do the calibration. So and it all gets logged. So this is a pretty handy tool. We can go out and service equipment that's added to our database here, but it actually isn't physically connected, and we can go around to this equipment, make changes, and it will be recorded in the Trex calibrator, and then when we plug it back in here, it will update. So we could have done like 100 calibrations, and they would all be updated in this database now. It would track it, the time it was done, So if we want to look back and see when all of our calibrations and stuff were done for our equipment, we would have that all tracked. All right, so now I want to demonstrate how AMS can track replacement devices. So we've got a second transmitter over here in the back here. We're going to be wiring it in, and we're going to be using it as a replacement for our existing transmitter. So something could have happened to this transmitter, could have malfunctioned, we need to replace it. So we're going to show how AMS can document that replacement as well. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to find our device that we're replacing, right click on it and go down to replace. And it's going to ask here, it's saying upon successful completion of this wizard, the device tag being replaced will be renamed with the following unique AMS tag name. So the device that we're replacing right now, the default is just to call it old. And so what we'll do is we'll leave that as the default. And the device here, it's saying, will this device ever be used again? So maybe the device still is in working order, and so we can leave it as a spare, or select retired, meaning it's probably damaged and it's going to be thrown away. So we're going to document that. We're going to leave it as retired. We're going to leave all of that as is. Click next. And then it's saying enter the AMS tag name of the device that you would like to use as the replacement if you're not sure. So now what we need to do here, we're going to have to make some changes. We're going to have to wire up, we're going to have to connect our heart modem here over to our new device here, because right now that device, the replacement device, is not on our system. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I made my changeover. You can see our device in the back there with the LCD display has been removed, and we've wired up this one without an LCD display. Yeah, no LCD display to the circuit. So we basically replaced it, and I've connected our heart modem up to the device, and it's connected over here to our laptop. So now we're back on the screen still. If I click browse, you can see here we've got our new device in the list here. It's got the date as its tag name, so that confirms that it's not IAT 235. We click OK. We can click next here, and it says, does the device being replaced contain configuration information you want to transfer to its replacement? We're going to say no, it's a brand new device, so we don't want to transfer any stuff over, because with this device has never been in this AMS database before, so we wouldn't have any information to transfer anyways. So we'll click finish. And now we should be able to see here our device, and if we click on audit trail, you can see right there it's showing up now, replace device at plant location now. So now we've got all the information here for our old device, and also now that the device here has been replaced. So that's great information. We know now that the device has failed or it needed to be replaced, and we can look that information up on the date when it occurred. And if we wanted to add more information here, if I right click, we can go to detail, and we can get more information here. We should also be able to add, yeah, we should be able to also, oh yes, we can add a manual event. So after we did that replacement, if we wanted to add more detail, we could click here and record a manual event, and so we could provide more information on why the device was replaced. So then if we wanted to track that for any reliability purposes or anything like that, if we wanted to look back on all the devices and see maybe why they were failing, the modes of failure and stuff like that, we could get that information from the AMS database. All right, so before we shut down here, now that we've demonstrated how to replace a device with AMS and how the audit trail is a handy tool to figure out the maintenance and stuff that's been done on the device, and also showing how we can use this Trex communicator over here to communicate with devices that aren't always connected to our AMS database. The power of those two items. Now that we've demonstrated that, and we're shutting down here, so this communicator can work with another workstation down the road, because we don't want to have to make sure we pair it with this exact computer every time. What we're going to do is we're going to right click, and we're going to unpair Trex unit here. It's giving us kind of a warning if there are items that have not yet been synchronized, they'll be lost, but we don't really care about that. We're shutting down, so we'll click OK. It's going to go ahead and unpair the Trex unit. And then one other way, if this is already shut down there, you can see it's been unpaired here. We can also check. We're going to go check in our Trex unit here. You can see that the AMS symbol is gone there, and we should be able to see also here, yeah, you can see that it's not paired. So that tells us, if we click on the AMS Device Manager Sync menu here, you can see it's not paired. That tells us that we have unpaired the device. We're good to go. And then the last step here is just to shut down here. We're just going to close our virtual machine, and using the virtual machine, since we're using a virtual machine, we can restore the current snapshot, and that's going to clean out all the changes that we did here for the next group to use this virtual machine. So we'll click OK, and we're back to square one, so we're good to go.